Everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another episode, folks. Here we are back again in Ark Survival Ascended, and I'm doing a bit of base maintenance, and we're going to be doing some breeding in this episode, on top of getting some stuff ready. So what do I mean by that? First things first, now that I've got the dung beetles and they've created for me a good supply of fertilizer, I'm just going to go through my garden here, through the greenhouse, remove all of the poop, so to speak, and resupply everything with the fertilizer. I've had to use animal feces instead of the fertilizer, which is less than ideal, so now we can stock up and supply on that, which should help us with the crafting of kibbles when that comes to it. As you can see, I've got some cages out there as well, so that is for additional dung beetles as and when the time does come, if it comes down to that. If not, I'll just leave them empty. They do look pretty nice the way they are. But currently speaking, I just need to be careful here not to leave the crop plots basically empty of I suppose a source of energy, you want to call it, as we do this. I'm gonna take my time here. Now what I'm planning to do in this episode, which is why I should give a fair warning that this might potentially be a bit of a slow-ish episode. Apart from this, I do want to do some breeding, and yeah, I want to get that first damage mutation, and then I can work on it in the background. It's going to be a long and slow process until we get a fully mutated pair of Rexes. Now, when I say fully mutated, I mean 20 mutations in damage and 20 in health. That is what I'm going. So on a dino you can have a total of 40 mutations, and you can basically get that by breeding 2 dinos with 20 mutations, and then so that's 2 dinos with 20 mutations each, and then stack them on a single dino. Basically that's the way it works out. So I want 20 mutations in damage and 20 in HP. That should be good enough for the bosses in general. I'm not really sure at this moment in time if I'm going to go into the boss fights, because I do want to do the alpha boss fights, which is the highest difficulty, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go just with Rexes. I think, unless things have changed, that it can be done. The one I do dread though is without without any measure, so to speak, is the dragon. Now what makes the dragon so bad is not the dragon itself and its fire breath, but the arena of the dragon, which is basically it's got like rivers of lava, and they're quite deep, so once your Rexes get trapped in there, it's going to be difficult for them to get back out, and it does a percentage damage over time, which can stack up pretty nastily and work to your disadvantage. So that is the one that I do fear. Now I do have a dead-on, but then there's also the option of potentially finding a dead-on pair, breed that until we get a good dead-on. Maybe I should do that just preemptively, but my other concern is right now at this moment in time, and this is from my past experience with regards to breeding, is that I'm going to start running out of space, and the reason for that is I like to keep the previous mutations just in case I do botch it up. I can always go back to a previous mutation and take it from there, so it just makes it's like a little safety net that I do. But then I also want to keep some color mutations. What I'm going to try and do this time around is I'm going to try and create my own custom color for the army of Rexes that I'm going to use, but then I also want a custom color for my personal battle Rex, so to speak. So I do want to store some colors. That means that my base and breeding facility is going to get crowded pretty quickly. Now I'm trying my best not to use any mods, and yes, I know there are cryo mods out there and stuff like that, but then the other concern with that amount of dinos will be the fact that obviously they want food, and if it comes to a point where I'm having to spend a lot of time trying to get the food and I'm running out of space, then the option for me putting those mods on the server are real. Now, up to this moment in time, I have enjoyed playing the game vanilla, just pure vanilla, the way it is. The truth is, I'm seeing a few problems with it. With regards to space and the amount of dinos, that I'm starting to feel the pressures of that. The more dinos you have, the more you have to feed them. The more they eat, the more... So it becomes a bit of a vicious circle where the cryopods and the cryopod system did work quite well because you could only have out what you needed and store the rest safely, which made plenty of sense, and so therefore it eliminated the need for large bases. Now, I've already built a large base and it is what it is, so I'll go with it. But then the other problem that I'm kind of not too impressed with is the generators. So obviously we need to power... Well, let's start with the beginning. I need to build a large base in order to be able to breed and store my dinos, but I also need to power that large base. I can only place a maximum of 3 generators by default, or I can go into the server settings, which is what I have done, which allows me and modify the game coding to allow me to put however many or remove that limitation, which is fine and fair enough, makes plenty of sense to me. But in doing so, as you can see, I've got generators scattered all over the place. Fine and perfect, but the problem is, with placing so many generators, I have to keep on top of them and constantly check the supply of gasoline they have. So, just as a side note here, I'm just trying to store as much of this fertilizer that I can. I don't really need to have that much. So, I think 2 full large boxes of storage should be more than enough. I'll drop the rest. I don't really care much for it. And I'll just keep those constantly topped up as and when required. Now, going back to what I was saying with the generators, yeah, so as you can see, I've built my base and it's starting to get a bit crowded, and it's only going to get worse as I continue breeding. Now, do bear in mind, I'm currently focusing heavily on the Rexes, but I want to do the Baryonyxes, I want to do the Argentavises, or Argentavi, whatever, you know, you get the idea. I might want to do some other creatures in the background as well. So I guess from now on we take this. I want the oil as well, and I'll store that away. Yeah, so as you can imagine, the base that we would need for, or that I would need for such operations would be astronomically big. I think it's bigger than really I can justify. What I've got now, I'm happy with. Bearing in mind that there is still plenty of work left to do with regards to the aesthetics. I have a rough idea of what I want to achieve from a visual perspective in my mind. So obviously it's not like exact. It's stuff that I can work with, but I want to put stuff up that looks or resembles battlements and stuff. I've gone for the castle theme, so I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I don't really want to go much larger than this. I think I'm happy with the size. So if you do see, I suppose, just a preemptive warning there, if you do see mods popping up in the gameplay later on, there's a reason behind it. Okay, I'm gonna go and put the oil away. I'm gonna store as much oil. I generally store the oil in the hide as much as I can, because that'll be converted into gasoline, but then there's also other uses for oil as well. Let me see, I think I've put it somewhere around here. Saying that, let me just quickly have a look in here. Get rid of that, and the oil should be somewhere around. It's one of these vaults. I'm not sure exactly where it is. Now, one of the things that S+ did quite nice towards the end of Survival Ascended was that, obviously, apart from just naming the vault, I actually wrote on the vault what you named it, and so it'd be easier to locate them. They all look the same, that's the problem, so it's a bit of a guesswork. So let's have a look here. See, as you can see, yeah, I've got one here, I've got another one in that tower there, I've got another one in the tower to the left, I've got one downstairs, I've got one in the greenhouse. That's just all the generators that I've placed down. Now maximum, oh, there's another one right there in front. So yeah, there's a load of generators to keep an eye on, and I just don't like that. It just stresses me out. And I'm more than happy with one generator. And then I think the cables were not aesthetic, but it allowed us to extend electricity to pretty much the entirety of the base. The Rhinonathias looked pretty healthy. I always do worry about them escaping or despawning or something like that. So far they haven't seemed to have done that, and it's been a few days in real life. Generally speaking, an episode isn't always shot at the same time, if that makes sense. It can take, so like an episode can take a couple of days of recording until I get what I want, or some of the footage. The other thing that I thought about, I still have the artifact in my inventory, so I think I should consider a place to put it down. I'm thinking, yeah, because I'm going to get more artifacts, so I need to find a place that I can put it down. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so just keeping an eye on all the eggs and stuff down there. Babies look okay, nice and healthy. Plenty of food in the feeding troughs. And I have this artifact with me. I think I'm going to find a place to put it down. Now, I don't want to spread the artifact, so to speak, all over my base. I do want like a little, let's call it trophy area, for lack of better terms. I'm going to use these. I think one will do just fine for now. And I'm gonna go, and I think I've already picked a spot. This isn't the permanent spot, but I don't really know at the moment, because I am gonna make changes to the base, or updates, so to speak. But I think this could potentially be a spot, at least for now. I think. There we go. This is the artifact I got in the last episode. Where is it? There you go. Let's have a look at it. Oh, that is pretty. That looks right nice. I feel though like the artifact in Ark Survival Evolved had a bit more glow to them when you placed them on the stand. I guess we'll find out at night how much these things glow. Yeah, so going back to what I was saying about the generators, because this is the thing that's frustrating me. One of the things that I find at the moment a bit frustrating is I don't have a source of light throughout the entirety of the base because of the problem with the generators, which is a bit frustrating. So I've got corners of the base that are pitch black, so I might potentially look for a mod. That looks really pretty, by the way. I'm just going to stop there for a second. That looks really pretty. So I might have to look for a mod or some way of extending a single generator to power the entire base, because I'm going to use a mod. What has crossed my mind is not to demolish or pick up the generators I've got placed, and to have them as backup. I do hope that Wildcard eventually decide to give us something. I mean, it could be something as simple as a power outlet that we can just place throughout the base, which then extends the reach of the generator. I'd like that very much. I'm going to go and have a look at the boss terminal. I want to see what exactly I need to get into the first boss fight. So I'm thinking, now that I've started breeding for mutations, I can supposedly use some just imprinted Rexes and do the gamma bosses, or a gamma boss. Ideally I've got my eyes set on the brood mother, but that is just a thought that's kind of going through my mind. I might want to do all difficulties, I think, because why not? Might as well collect the flags, I guess. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna start with the gamma. I'm gonna start with the gamma brood mother. Yeah, so as I was talking about it, I just kind of stopped and thought about, you know, about it. I suppose one of the inconveniences, let's put it this way, I was trying to think of a way to word this, is the fact that I'm going to have to carry all of my dinos somehow from my base to the terminal, and that's, we're talking 20 dinos plus whatever else I'm using to carry the supplies, and then carry them back. It makes it a bit inconvenient. I'd like to do a boss fight, or some boss fights, but at least a boss fight without any mods. So I'm looking, in my mind, at possibly doing that for the next episode, just as a heads up there. Oh wow, the terminal looks nice. I've not actually looked at this properly. I like the fact that it's actually covered by grass now. I like it, but don't like it. I suppose it makes it a bit more difficult to see the range. See, I use the terminal to the circle around the terminal to determine how much space I've got to work with when setting up the dinos. Let's have a look. Okay. Alright. Not bad. Got 1 of 3 artifacts. That should be possible. Okay. Much work has taken place. And I'm reading currently both the Baryonyx as well as the Argentavises and the Rexes. So I've got a buttload of eggs, as you can see right here. Also got some spare Bronto eggs. This is almost a full fridge of RG eggs. And look at this. Got my first damage mutation, so I've got something to work with. Not a fan of the color, but I'm waiting on this to eventually start making me some more babies. Let me just see. We'll set this to none. Yeah, but there we go. Look at that. Look at this. I don't know if I like... I mean, it's not an ugly color, but I'm not sure if I like it or not. So, I've got 2 female Rexes, which is good, and 1 male Rex with the same stats. And that's kind of the way to work, I guess, because if I get females from the mutations over here, by the way, are the HP mutations. This is a damage mutation, so as I said before, I want to start working on the damage mutation first. But going back to what I was saying, the fact that I've got 1 male and 2 females that are clean, basically just have all the stats of the original parent and all the good stats of the original parent, does work for me. So what happens is, if I get a female, I can breed that female to the male. Then obviously I'm going to get loads of dinos, and as I continue doing that, I'm going to raise another 3 females with the stats of the original female, mutated female, and then breed those back to the unmutated male and get mutations that way, kind of speed it up that way. If I get a male, I can breed it to the 2 unmutated females and work that way. Jesus Christ, the eggs are doing alright. They're going down right quick. I'm happy with the speed at which they are incubating, especially the Baryonyx eggs. I'm basically going to spare you the horrors of what happens to the unwanted babies. Again, another I know it's a game, but this is another thing that I'm not a fan of, how I have to get rid of the unwanted babies. And there's gonna be loads. I'm probably thinking hundreds, possibly thousands of unwanted babies. Okay, I wanted to show you something, but I don't know how to do that. I have started working on the water base. It's over on that side. I'll show it off later. It's still a work in progress. I've just basically drawn out an outline. I'm just trying to figure a way out of showing you that. I don't want to go too far because I've got eggs that I need to keep an eye on. Yeah, let me just give me a second. Let's have a look over here. Okay, we're doing alright. I'll show it off. If not, you'll see the finished result. So I reckon whilst I'm doing this, I thought I might as well continue working on my base whilst I'm around and make a start on the water base, because we're going to need some water dinos. There are 2 water caves, and I don't really feel comfortable going with any megalodons into those, so I might need something a bit more powerful, especially with megalodons that are vulnerable to eels and Nidarias. Basically the jellyfish is what I meant. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Let's see if I can actually show you the location from up here. Can we see? Just about, yeah. So that is just a rough outline, basically. It's going to be split into several sections. We'll have a breeding section, a storage section, and like a little base section. We're going to keep the castle theme. So yeah, I've actually, thinking about it, I've actually expanded quite nicely. I've got this castle base here, which is something that I need to continue working on, and furnish and do all the other bits and pieces. I've got a water base that I need to finish. I've already started it, and see what else we're going to do. Might set up some towers and stuff and whatnot, just to keep in line with the theme. And I've also got that drop there, which I might make some modifications to it. So yeah, plenty of work to do. Okay, so check this out. I've got another batch of baryonyx eggs, but I did get this one right there. So I've got a 2, 4, 5. That seems to be, that is unmutated, by the way, so that seems to be the level of the total of the stat from the parents, basically. So we'll keep that baryonyx and we'll try and get a pair of those basically with that same level, and then once I've got that, then I can start breeding the baryonyxes for mutations. At least that is the plan. I've got loads of babies right here, and yeah, well, we're doing this the ugly way. So right now I'm looking for the next damage mutation. 2, 4, 6. So basically I'm looking for I think, yeah, let's have a look. Right, okay, cool. So this is a mutation, I think. Here, hold on a second. Let me just yeah, so 2, 4, 6 is what I've got there. So I need 2 females basically. I'll just try and pull these guys out, and then I need 2 of these females, which I will then raise to maturity in the event that I don't get mutation by then. If not, they're then just cannon fodder, basically. So then I can work with 3 females to 1 unmutated male. I want to split these guys up because I can see that there'll be problems as they mature. Their hitboxes will just turn into a complete mess. That's a male. I don't want that. This guy's a male. I don't want that either. So yeah, these guys are useless. I might potentially grow them. So grow 20 of these actually. That is a thought. So I'll use these guys for the gamma broodmother. Alpha, beta, gamma. Yeah, gamma broodmother. So okay, I'm just looking at the stats. This one is a mutation, by the way, but it's in the wrong stat, so we don't care. I want damage. There we go. Yeah. So we got 2 mutations. It's difficult to spot because sometimes, normally with mutations, you should get a change in the color. I can't quite make out if there is a change in the color. It must be well hidden. So I'll just put these guys out. But these will be the first, or these are the first, I suppose, iteration of battle Rexes. Let's call it that. Obviously, quite a bit of work remains to be done. We have to raise these guys, put food in them, yada yada bloody, imprint, all that sort of stuff. Get saddles made. Yeah, a bit of work to do, but you guys know what happens when you get an army ready. Let's see right here, 2, 4, 6. You are a female, so you are good to go for the breeding program. So I've got another female there that I'm raising. With the females, by the way, that I'm using for the breeding purposes, I will not imprint on them. I don't want the imprint multipliers to change the stats. I want to see the core stats, basically. So there's no imprinting on them as such. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna get right crowded. Yeah. Thing is, though, I thought of moving this one here. Don't even. It doesn't matter if it's a male or female right now. But so far, all I'm seeming to get at the moment is males, and obviously, I'm gonna need to have both genders to get the boost. 2, 4, 6. Might as well chuck this in here. The reason I've changed this out is because I'd like to increase my chances of maybe getting rid of this pinky purple. It's not an ugly color, but yeah, it's not something I fancy. it's going to be interesting to see what colors I get. I'm going to save the nice colors, and I'll share them at the end, by the way. Can we get these guys moving? Okay, one of them is moving, at least. Let's have a look at you. You're a male. Alright, well, you go into this pile then. Okay. 2, 4, 6. I got basically what 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 Rexes out of the 20 that I'll need for the boss. Oh, maybe more than that. They're all kind of clumped together there, so I need to break them apart. Okay, come this way. Why is it going that way? Tell you what, sometimes the pathfinding in this AI can be a bit derpy. You are a male again in this pile. I'm starting to get concerned here because I don't want to go with an all-male army into the arena. I want an even number of females and males for the added bonus that we get for it. 2, 4, 6. Again, a male. Oh, wow. That was brilliant. So basically, right now, I've just got a bunch of males that I'm going to be raising for the army. So going forward, I'm going to need to pay attention to how many females I get. I'm just having a look at, because is this like a thing? Is this being a thing? Or is it just the Rexes that are popping out as males? And it seems like at the moment it's just the Rexes that want to come out as male. I just find it weird that I'm getting so many males at the moment. Okay, well, you chose a weird path to get here, sir. The color combo doesn't look half bad. I like the black with the purple belly. I kind of like it. Not bad, not bad. Right, let's see what else we got in here. Okay, 2, 4, 6. Let's claim you, and... female. Alright, I shall put you here. And hopefully, I mean, I'm going to keep this purple anyways, in case I do want to do something with the purple. I do keep any mutations that are beneficial to me, or that I've used into a bloodline, let's call it that. So, you know, I've got my color. I'd like to go back to the black, though. Keep them black, and then I'll decide what color scheme I'm going to set up later on. Let's get these guys here. Yeah, so I reckon I've got about 10 Rexes that I'm now going to be busy raising. So, yeah, we're halfway there. Halfway? Maybe a third of the way, because I still have to raise these guys. Still need to imprint on them. Hopefully they don't really want anything too stupid, but I'm kind of prepared anyways. I've got plenty of eggs. I can always craft the kibbles and whatnot. Yeah, we'll get there. I'll keep you guys posted. You guys will see them probably fully grown later on, but from now on it's just going to be a thing of being around the base. This guy doesn't want to come. Let's see if he comes. Yeah, just kind of doing stuff around the base, constantly checking on these guys, making sure they have plenty of food, they're well fed, they don't starve out, and yeah, just, I suppose, take advantage of this and work on the base. So I guess it's all the boring stuff, but that is pretty much it for this episode. It's been a bit of a slow one, but sometimes we do have these. There is a bit of preparation to do, and as I said, you know, sometimes I do shoot episodes throughout several days just to get the footage that I want. In the meantime, thank you all so very much for choosing to spend your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay safe, folks.